What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gym. Shout out to my backup barber, Angelica. Did a thing this week, got me right. But I want to make a quick response to a very interesting interview I saw on YSM Sports Media. Shout out to the Bro Mill. You did a great job on the interview, as well as the interviewee in Jaron Ennis, for the first time, has spoken out and given his point of view, and spoke his truth on, what happened between the supposed negotiations between himself and Virgil Ortiz. And I thought, he did a very good job of expressing himself and bringing clarity to the situation. First and foremost, he said he was unaware of any negotiations. Some people may say, oh, that's absolutely ridiculous. Not so much, because a lot of people, especially younger fighters, have people that do all their negotiations, all their talking for them. And a lot of times the manager doesn't bring something back to the fighter, unless until they feel they have something real, something tangible to bring back. So that's not, odd. Also, younger fighters usually, take a much lesser role in the business side of their career. Now, there can be hiccups at times when, a fighter is coming into his own and, ready to take the reins, and those that normally do all the talking and negotiating are used to not having to confer with the fighter on certain things. That can, I'm not saying this is the case here, but that can happen. It's almost like, a child and an adult. When your kid, when your child is growing up and they're underage, you make all of their decisions, you make all of their appointments, the doctor's appointments or school appointments or whatever has to be done for them, seriously, or, professionally, or however you want to put it. You kind of do that without conferring with them. But there comes a time where, they become an adult, and it's not always age, kind of varies by person, but where they're ready to take over their own life and they're, ready to handle your own things. And sometimes there's a disconnect between, when to let go and when they take over. So, sometimes there's miscommunication there because, said individual may feel like, why is this being done without me? And the person doing the negotiating may say, it's always been that way. What are you talking about? So, a new dynamic sometimes has to be worked out. Again, like I said, I'm not saying that's what happened in this situation, but I'm just making an example from when people say there's no way there could be in negotiations without him knowing. There actually could have been. But I liked what he said. A lot of people were criticizing him because Eddie Hearn came out and said the initial offer was for 147. Virgil Ortiz, people said they needed to be at 154. That's where negotiations broke down. Now, Boots said that wasn't my intent, because he said he wouldn't bring that man down to 147, knowing that would affect his health, as in the last 3 times he tried to make 147, 2 that I remember, but, I think they spoke of 3, where, he couldn't make it. And actually, the last couple of times had serious medical issues with regards to him trying to get down to that weight. So, he said, why would I ask this man to come down to a weight that's unhealthy for him? So that's first and foremost. He said he didn't try to weight drain the man. He just didn't know about negotiations, and he said he would not do that. Number 2, they say, well, why didn't you just go to 154? As I've expressed before, and a lot of lay people may not know, that once a fighter moves up in weight, it's not just that simple always to go back down. And especially when, you're a big guy like him, you come in lean, so you're talking about either putting on or taking off muscle. And, once you keep that muscle on and go through a whole camp, a fight with that, taking it back off, it's not always the easiest thing to do. Ask Roy Jones Jr. or, we can remember Tank moving up to 140, which was only 5 pounds above the weight he was at the time and the weight he's at now. And he said he didn't feel comfortable. So there's a lot of things that go into, fighters and their weight, that it's not just that simple of a decision, And with boxing being a sport where you're literally risking life and limb, I think the fighter should have complete dominion over their body and every right to decide, what weight they fight in and, when. If they decide they're going to move up in weight, that should be completely up to them. And they should fight at the weight that they absolutely have the most optimum level of comfort, again, because of said risks that are being taken. And the nature of the sport, one-on-one sport, the need to perform at an extremely high level every single time out, because there is no timeouts, no pun intended. There are no teammates, you know what I mean? There is nobody else to lean on. It's all on you. So there's a lot of variables that go into boxing that I particularly understand, that I think, you know, should put a fighter in a position where people should understand that they should be able to pick to, you know, fight at whatever weight they see fit, and everybody else, you know, kind of have to accept it. You know, it kind of is what it is. So he explained that too, and I get it. The third thing he said that I have to respect as well, he said, y'all call me an email champ. You know, even though it's not my fault, he said, I preferred to take the belt from a champion, but since I didn't get to do that, for my legacy's sake, and, you know, for his own, you know, mental, he wants to actually fight a champion and take their title prior to moving up. Who is anybody else to say that that's not valid for him? You know what I mean? He doesn't want to be judged in the history books as, he wasn't a real welterweight champion. You know, he was emailed the belt, even though I don't agree with that at all. Boots, personally, I think you fought in the IBF Eliminator. You was the #1 contender for quite a period of time. You waited your turn. The champion refused to fight you, so it was only right that you be elevated to champion. I can't knock that. You know what I mean? And you have fought and defended it. So to me, you're a solidified champion. But I can understand as a fighter, as a competitor, how you may feel. You know, you don't want to leave anybody any room to say anything. I get it. But so I think, you know, all the things he expressed were very honorable and should be respected. You know, does it mean you may not get the fight you want right now? Maybe, but hey, there is no perfect situation in life sometimes, and there are a lot of fights through the history of boxing that we may have wanted to see, you know, prior to seeing them. But at the end of the day, the fighters should act in the best interest of themselves. Me included, a lot of us feel like Pacquiao Mayweather, you know, should have happened earlier. Yeah, but it wouldn't have benefited them to happen earlier, because we both know they made record-breaking numbers when it happened. You know, the highest amount of money that any fighter has ever been paid in the ring was paid in that fight. So, you know, how could they be wrong for doing something that, you know, turned out to be life-changing, you know, and generational wealth for themselves and their family? Who is anybody else, the Monday morning quarterback, and tell them, you know, when they should have did it or how? They did it when they did it, and they were successful. You can't argue with success. So I think it's the same situation here with Boots. Do I feel he's scared of Virgil Ortiz? Absolutely not. None of you guys do either, because I listened to your interview, I listened to your videos and your takes, and you guys actually have him picked to beat Virgil Ortiz. So why would he be ducking somebody that most of you feel like he can beat? He gave 3 valid reasons. Whether you like his reasons or not is up to you, but I think we all should respect those reasons, as again, it's his career, his legacy, his health, and life on the line. He should be able to move in a way that he sees fit. So I say, champ, hats off to you. I see, you know, by actions, you know, you are maturing in your career, probably on the business side, and as you said, from here on out, you know, you want to be the voice of yourself for your own career, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Everybody makes the progression either from girl to woman or boy to man, and in that growth comes change. Comes change in the responsibility that you accept for others as well as yourself, and sports and entertainment are no different. Hats off to you, champ. I look forward to seeing you get back in the ring. I trust that you're going to make the right decision for yourself and your career, and I also trust that that's going to be entertaining and to us as a fan the next time we see you. And like I said, still a fan. Can't wait to see you back in action, and I have absolutely no issues with a fighter taking dominion over their body and deciding when they will fight, where they would fight, what weight they will fight at, and whom they will fight. I have absolutely no issue with that. The only way I would say a fighter's a duck is if they're in a weight class and somebody's seeking an opportunity against them and they're shooting it down with no good reason, then you're ducking. If you don't defend against your mandatory, then you're ducking. But refusing to move up in weight when other people say you should move up in weight, that's not ducking. Just my opinion. Again, hats off to you, Mills, YSM Sports Media, and Boots. Look forward to seeing you back in action. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.